about to see the third match between Philippines as well as Malaysia with only one game remaining in the first semi-final. And we'll have to see who's going to be able to take this one, because the winner of this match goes to day 2, the grand finals of Hyperplay. Now in that last match we saw differences coming out from Malaysia as well as the Philippines. Most notably was the Philippines going towards less crowd control in their draft for that second game.
It's very interesting how they changed the way that their team compositions played out. They first picked Morganas though, so they could you almost thought they wanted to build more into their crowd control, but then they start picking up things like Jace and Misfortune, and you wonder, did they dilute the character of their team composition too much? And I think that they did. Varus is a pick that we've seen in this tournament do pretty well in teams that want that crowd control. So you have to question, do the Philippines go back to comfort? Or do they, still try and change things up? Because even despite the changes, they almost got back into that game. It was close, actually, at one point in time.
It was close, but we saw Malaysia able to tidy up their gameplay throughout the latter half there. And as you were talking about, Clement, they were able to catch some of the throws that the Philippines were giving them for a short period of time. On top of that, we saw them try to change things going into this game. And I think you were telling me they wanted to be a little bit more aggressive going into the second match and potentially the third match for Malaysia.
I think this is the way you win in this hectic type of style in this tournament. You want to be the one making the first moves, and they have a very good point on the map to do it. It should be their mid laner with RH. The opponent is not really laning with you, so you can roam around with Caspiel, try to buff up his ganks, and try to play through mid, win the early game. That's how I would do it for Malaysia.
What are your thoughts, Mark? Do you think they need to be more aggressive or just clean up their gameplay like you were talking about earlier?
I think it's a mix of both. I think Malaysia should absolutely not be scared. We saw them capitalize a lot more on mistakes and slight missteps from the Philippines this time around, and that really got them rolling in terms of items. So I agree they need to play more aggressive, but at the same time they need to be decisive still, because what really got them ahead was, I feel like, RH being the team captain, just saying, guys, we have to activate on this, let's go. And when they are all on that same page, it looks good. But at the same time, aggression can backfire if you're not all on the same page. So it's a little bit riskier for them, but I have to say it definitely works because they're punishing the Philippines, who looked a little bit out of sorts with a team comp that they are not so familiar with.
So if they can punish them in that sense going into Game 3, do you think the aggression is going to be enough, Clement? Or do you think the Philippines, if they go back to the playstyle they used to, that's going to be enough for them to come out on top and go to the finals?
I'm going to have to go still with the Malaysia. I feel like Caspiel has his morale up by that Game 2, and they systematically, I still feel like they have the better mid lane and jungle synergy to choke out Philippines.
Nah, I gotta say, Philippines are not gonna let that happen. They recognized in Game 2 that they were playing out of character. I expect them to go back to a lot of comfortable picks, and just like we saw in Game 1, they were much more dominant in Game number 1 than Game number 2 with something that they were comfortable with. Malaysia looked out of sorts there. So that being said, Malaysia, they are trying to adapt with the picks and bans, but I feel that Philippines will still be able to fall back to some comfort picks because this is the diverse meta. You're going to get something that you like. Philippines should just stick to their guns.
Well, we'll have to see if Philippines can actually just stick to their guns. Clement, I hope to see if we can see, we hope to see if Malaysia can clean up their gameplay as well as bring that aggression, and we'll find out when we go into Game 3 because the players are ready for the deciding fight. The winner of this match goes to the grand finals, so we're going to send it over to our casters.
You're ready, Fish. I'm ready. 2 great games so far here at Hyperplay Kobe and many more to be played, but we still must settle our first finalist. Is it Philippines or is it Malaysia?
Yeah, definitely going to be an exciting one here. 1-1 now, all evened up. And again, they were talking about it a bit on the analyst desk, but who is really going to support their big jungler, and who's going to be the big one to come carry this time around? Because we know they want to play aggressive. Dodoya on the Graves, constantly going for the invades, constantly looking for the counter jungling, and yet last time around, Malaysia were ready for it, and specifically out of the mid lane, a lot of support there given to the jungle, helping collapse during those invades. Really takes away a lot of the early game plan for the Philippines, and that was enough to set them up for a late game victory.
Does feel like the cleanliness and teamwork from Malaysia kind of got them into the spot where they did. Philippines valiantly fought back there in the mid-game, and that game did go quite long. I think we were close to 35 minutes, which for this tournament is almost unheard of. That's the ultra late game as far as Hyperplay is concerned. So again, teams clearly respecting each other a lot and just kind of making sure that, we know what to do, we know they're strong. If we misstep, and we're kind of seeing it in the ending of both these games, it was really just one team fight that just knocked the whole game down and gave the team a win. So I'm expecting teams to be pretty careful in drafts and in the early game, but I think the team that is willing to be more confident and more decisive is the one that's going to make it to the finals.
Yeah, I think another interesting story here for this series has been the bottom lane for Malaysia. Clyde and Korosu have been huge for creating plays for the entire team, not just having some presence down there in the bottom lane and getting the early push. So we've seen them fight over the Jhin once before. Maybe it'll come even earlier in this champ select.
Yeah, true. Philippines could potentially have it on their first pick because they are on blue side here for this one. Malaysia on the red. Do have Aatrox banned away once more. Olaf, as is now customary in this series, will be also taken off the board.
Yeah, no changes so far. It feels like they've really settled in and feel like they know each other quite well. Both teams with the victory, looking for the outplay now. See if there's any other little wrinkles here that get thrown in. Would expect, Philippines to come through with another Xin Zhao ban. If not this one, maybe the third one, because they definitely still don't want the Doi to get it.
I kind of like this change, banning away Jhin.
One Jhin for each side. Now we're going to have to go into it with neither. Would expect Vicki probably to pick up one of those mages maybe for the bottom lane. So let's see what Clyde and cornerstones have in store this time around. The Skarner ban does come through. They're trying to take out some of the tanks, not allow Caspio to go on something like that. I think he'll be happy to go with the Kindred again, though, if they do leave it up.
Certainly has been banned all series long, and that will continue. So will Xin Zhao, who was taken off the board once again from Dodoi. He's actually got his Graves twice, which I think is something we didn't expect. But if we are to believe the other team,
yeah, now, will they ban out the Kindred with their last ban or Zoe? Zoe was also a huge pain point, so they are going to target Caspiel, deny him the Kindred this time around. But, again, that would leave up RH Zoe once again if they want to be able to pick that one. Last time, it wasn't even banned away in the second round, and he had a lot of early presence, as well as picking off people later in the game with the Sleepy Trouble bubble.
There was also a Twisted Fate ban at some point in the last game, which we did, of course, see from Genji in game one. Looks like, though, they are going to stick to their guns. Back to Nocturne here.
Yeah, with the Kindred banned out, they want to make use again of the all-in ultimate here. You can turn off the vision, and that has been very, very successful. Let's see if the Malaysia will answer back quickly, try and snatch up possibly the Graves for Dodoi. Or there you go, Pastry. It might be another run for Kanji of the Grass Twisted Fate.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, almost preempting the Zoe pick at this point, which is kind of cute. We'll see what RH does want to take here on the Malaysia side. Philippines, though, are going to take Morgana. So again, setting up a potential Morgana duo lane, but of course we know, everyone knows, there will be no Jhin to join it this time.
Cornerstones has been so good for these guys. He is the eldest on the team. He talked about trying to keep them calm, trying to keep them focused in the game, and a lot of the bindings and the zoning he's been doing with the Morgana Ultimate have been instrumental in getting them here.
Yep, in a kind of band of brothers, he is the biggest one as Galio locked in here.
We were waiting for the Galio to come through. Game 3 here, backs against the wall. Now it does come down. Huge combination. Nocturne Ultimate into Galio Ultimate can destroy a team fight. This has been one of the champions that has done very well here. Super high KDA across all teams and all players.
Ooh, yes!
And even a hyperscaler here.
Kai'Sa doesn't see as much play as she did in previous patches, but still pretty potent despite some nerfs. So back in play here for Vicki, I assume.
Yeah, can go with the ability power routes, Nashor's Tooth. Try and build up a little bit more mobility as well, because there's a lot of sources of crowd control on this team, so he can move around with the Killer Instinct. Gonna have to worry about the targeted stuns from Twisted Fate, though.
Oh, yes. Especially with no Morgana available, as it's already been taken away. So I wonder if Superior will revisit something like Tom Kench. For now, they actually are going to ban that on away from Shiro. So despite, I don't think playing tanks much at all. Most of the teams in this tournament, but certainly not in this series, afraid enough of the on to respectfully ban it away.
Yeah, they have consistently banned this one out against him. I think that Shiro on the Vladimir, though, was really good for them, provides a lot of damage. And since Malaysia already have Nocturne and Galio, they don't feel too bad about losing out some other initiation from the top side. There goes the Kennen. That was a big part of the AoE from game number 1. That did look good despite them taking the L.
Yeah, it makes sense that with something like Nocturne Galio, want a bit more damage, want to combo in with the AoE you've already built into the composition. Another bot laner, I assume, getting banned away here by Malaysia, so we can count Jin, Lucian, and Swain all being taken away here from Clyde.
Yeah.
But that does leave Camille open, and that's an insta-lock Camille from the Philippines.
All right, walk from the top side. Let's see if he can have another big game for them like he did earlier in the tournament. Twisted Fate now is going to have a lot of options because Camille engage range is so far that if they're able to get a Twisted Fate ultimate early on, up there as well, he can really turn that 1v1. So let's see what Shiro has to answer as far as the 1v1 matchup. Another support locked in there, though. More shields to come in and protect Kaisa with the Karma lock-in for Superior.
Yep, helps Nocturne as well, as we know Caspio is going to be diving in head first almost every cooldown of the Paranoia. So with 10 seconds left for Malaysia to take their final pick in this semi-final. Win, lose, I guess you don't really draw. They will not be able to take any more champions up against the Philippines, but Shiro does go back to Vladimir.
Yeah, like we were looking for from last game, Shiro, he will have the opportunity to have a Galio ultimate on him as well. Doesn't always have to be used offensively with the Nocturne. They can still use it defensively for either Kaisa or Vladimir. Buying time with the pool is another option. And they're going to be a lot more tanky, a little bit more robust here on the Malaysian side as far as the team comp. But again, lots of damage from the Philippines. That's the way they like to play offensively. Morgana Binding, Twisted Fate gold cards are the possibilities for pickoff, especially with Camille's long-range hook shot towards champions. That could be it.
Well, there's Ezreal last pick there for Clyde, who's been a pretty good-looking AD carry in both the games, despite, of course, a loss in the last one for the Philippines. So something like Ezreal, you get a lot of agency on this champion. He might have quite the game here.
Yeah, he's thinking, wow, there's a Nocturne, Galio, and Vladimir on the enemy team. I need to
Get me out of there.
as mobile as possible. So Ezreal going to try and use Arcane Shift to get a little bit of distance for himself, as there's going to be a lot of dive that he has to deal with.
Looks like TP as well there for Clyde, so we'll have an extra one, although Galio is going to even that up 2 for 2. We'll have a check-in, of course, with Runes and Summoners as we get involved with the coaches. We'll shake hands for the final time here in this semi-final. As we'll watch another bout between Malaysia and the Philippines. Only one, Kobe.
All right.
And move on to the Hyperplay Grand Finals.
Yeah, who will be on stage tomorrow and take the first spot in the finals? Definitely tense here. You can feel it in the air of the entire arena.
Yeah, I mean, again, you said it. 2 months of play for these teams. Only 4 left. Would be a real blow to have to go home early. No team ever wants that to happen, but unfortunately, one must watch
right
from the
there,
stands.
up and down with the energy.
Yeah.
Looking forward to the game.
And for so many of these players, this is a massive stage, you know. Big stadium here in Singapore. They've played this tournament for so long. Now they've made it, you know, to the LAN event here on the stage. There's concerts playing around them. All sorts of stuff's happening, Kobe.
Yeah, first international event for a lot of these players. I've talked to them a little bit before in makeup as well as they were getting ready. A little bit of nerves, but nerves are good sometimes. You turn those into excitement and try and channel that energy into some positive plays here. So we'll see. Are there any gonna, level 1s are a possibility? We have Morgana Binding's possibility as far as starting out.
Uh-oh.
Top side, they are going with 4 members. They do have quite a lot of potential of picking someone off. No top laner there right now, but Shiro might walk into this trap.
This is a big pincer. 4 members going to hide out in that fog. You can see where the ping is. That's exactly where they're hiding.
Can Dodoy actually chase him in the right way? Ooh, they don't scare him up to the top. Gold card already pulled.
It's a big bait here. Wakwak looking for the stun. Does find it with a long-range hook shot. Here comes Shiro. Needs to be careful.
Binding?
Has the flash. Binding is going to land. Not going to use the summoner. That's first blood. Kurosu.
Again, so many possibilities for the long range. They're not done yet.
Nope, Dodoy continuing to invade. Taps there onto RH in the front side as Kanji again looks with the gold card.
I love the level 1 preparation there from the Philippines.
How does he always hit? Caspil eats another binding here.
100% accuracy so far in game number 3 when it counts with the pressure on. The Philippines is going to use that first blood gold actually in the bottom lane with the final blow going over to Kurosu. Not exactly the best spot, but they definitely want it. Here we go, though, actually fighting over blue buff. Dodoy might have to go for a smite fight in vision.
No vision, no Shiro again getting stumped, but the taunt's going to land onto Dodoy. This could be bad news, but he is going to stay safe for now. Kanji finally rotating over and the buffs reset. Stuns maybe looking, finds a red card instead, just going to poke down RH, and I think that's enough to force them off the buff. Shiro's still fighting, has empowered Q, he's going to find Dodoy, flashes over the wall, beautiful stuff there from Shiro, but now Kanji's caught RH, but he's going to get taunted up. Good cleanse there, but Caspiel still trying to fight out of the way. Q's going to land, hits him, but Caspiel, he just got the kill, Kanji melted!
Yeah, no flashes from either side there blown, and he doesn't gold card the Nocturne.
More
gets
shenanigans, again powering up the Q. Wak again looking for the hook shot. Shiro, good damage onto Dodoy.
Oh, can Dodoy even get out though? He might have to burn his flash.
Caspiel's got flash as well, so he might actually chase here. Doesn't have the fear, but still chasing with the Dustbringer on that Q, giving him extra AD. And again, another long 2.5 minute level 1.
So the extra move speed from your Q trail on Nocturne combined with lethal tempo, level 1, so much damage output from Nocturne there was why he was able to get the kill onto Kanji on the Twisted Fate. And no flashes was burned since it could have been answered as well. But now into the laning phase with a lot of the early action once again around a buff pastry.
Another level 2 gank though. Wak does have his flash, but is about to get feared up. He already burnt the hook shot. Good flash, just barely at the end. He does get feared, but can't really chase under the tower there.
Yeah, Caspiel didn't even go for the blue buff. First, goes for the gank right after Scuttle Crab, and now he's going to return to the jungle. Dodoy does see that Nocturne was topside, though, so moves into the opposite side of the map to get the opposite Scuttle for himself.
Yeah, looks like he's also still level 1, so I don't know if he's done any camps.
Nope, has
maybe
not.
This should be the first one. Oh no, RH, if he stole that.
Yeah, so he also uses his smite. Dodoy really did not want to use his smite there to secure that Scuttle Crab, and he was scared that the Scuttle Crab was going to make an odd veer off up into the right and actually run into the Winds of War. But now, let's see if he continues on his invading ways that we've seen him do before. Still has another charge of smite for the red buff take here, and should be able to secure it before Nocturne makes his way over.
Kind of a unique situation. Normally you wouldn't want to use your smite because you want to make sure you have it for the big buff that you do. Well, game's going on long enough that he actually had 2 charges, which is pretty rare, as RH gets a nice trade in onto Kanji. Doesn't have his cleanse, so it's pretty tough in this 1v1 when Galio gets the taunt to trade, but he is back to Grasp of the Undying, so definitely trying to sustain through this lane and help out his team in the mid game.
And Caspiel here does have the experience advantage as he's been able to just clear a couple of small camps as well, even though Dodoy was on the invade path. Nocturne a little bit ahead as far as experience, can clear out some of the wards in the river as well. And Nocturne very good at dueling early on, especially if you do have the positional advantage. Right now, remember, flashes were blown. Dodoy does not have his own flash to get out of this. Still level 2 on Graves as well.
That's a really nice invade, actually, and it's actually Malaysia with the 2v2 push lead, which hasn't really happened in a lot of this series. Great lead on the binding, though, by Kurosu, but Caspiel trying to chase out Kanji. Gold card's going to land, but Clyde is dead to Vicki, who flashes over the wall for the last auto attack. Malaysia with such a precise invade here. Philippines forced out again.
Malaysia turning around the invade as they were able to keep it up on this blue quadrant. Dodoy, as he was trying to retreat to his own jungle, finds himself as the recipient now of the extra pressure. And again, like we were talking about, it was going to be so much about who helps their jungler most early on to get to the carry. And this time around, it is going to be some more kills for Caspiel on the Nocturne. He'll be very happy to pick this up. Mid lane was a lot of damage trading there. It looks like both of them are going to get the early recalls off.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. You don't expect Galio and Grasp of the Undying Twisted Fate to exchange blows so often, but looks like Kanji's going to win the early chunk. Caspiel does come to mid to hold the wave as RH does not have his TP back up.
Yeah, Wak saw him move towards the Scuttle Crab spawn here, so able to move down on Camille and force him off of that one. They don't clear out that control ward in the river first, but here's another look at the invade. So even though Galio charged up the Q and gets into the binding, so much damage here, easily picked up. Vicki flashes over to make sure they get the last hit and kill onto Clyde. Nice combination over the wall for Malaysia to get an early lead.
And again, it feels like that teamwork from Malaysia looking strong here in the early game. RH and Caspiel teamed up so often in the last game to really get them a lead with the Lulu. And now it's the whole team that's kind of really collapsing, making sure that Caspiel and the rest of the squad can get off to a good start.
RH now, he does not have his own flash, and he's got 3 members collapsing on him.
Nice run here from Kurosu. Taunt's going to charge up with the Black Shield, maybe going to deny it. It's also Wak up here as well, so Dodoy picks up a sitter as he takes down RH.
Both teams rallying around their junglers. This time it's the Philippines that collapse and actually punish the Galio invade here. Kill goes back over, this one to Dodoy, and we're right back in it.
Solo Galio invade. Not words I expected to say during this tournament, but there you go. Unfortunately, RH is punished soundly by the Philippines for his transgression.
This bottom lane is going to get very scary too. You know, part of the reason of picking Ezreal, AD carry that's pretty safe on his own to farm from afar and allow Morgana to get some roams off for plays like we just saw. However, Clyde on the Ezreal is very scared because he was killed earlier and Vicki did get the bonus gold. This Kai'Sa is going to scale very, very quickly. He's actually going with a flat attack damage rush here as far as the BF sword since he got that kill and got so much early money. Vicki will be upgrading the Q for Kai'Sa for the extra missiles early on, and that could be very difficult to deal with in the lane phase. As you can see, Ezreal, you want to rush the tier. You don't have a lot of combat effectiveness early, and just going to try and stand back and Mystic Shot.
Shiro again doing a nice job here in the top lane. Laning up against Wakwak's Camille. Haven't seen the impact just yet, but again, was been banned twice before this game against the Philippines top laners, so certainly expecting things to blossom as the game continues on. Kispil also pretty healthily in the XP lead, already level 524, and should be pretty fast track to level 6, which is what every Nocturne likes to see.
Yeah, we already have the level 6 Galio as well, so if RH can clear out the mid lane and look for those roams to the side lane, probably bottom as soon as Nocturne does hit that level 6. That's going to be the next dangerous play that they have to look out for to coordinate around.
And Kanji 6'2", so of course he can join it with his ultimate if he has it, and of course does now.
Big thing about Nocturne though, again, if you turn out the lights, then Twisted Fate gonna be unable to join and provide immediate assistance. So you have to fend for yourself for a while. And wait for reinforcements to arrive. Right now, again, jungler and mid lane are working together, but Galio has already pushed the lane.
This time maybe topside. Wakwak I thought was maybe too far forward. Caspio level 6 might be looking for something, but blue buff also a consideration, so he's going to stop off here and donate that one over to RH.
Dodoy gets chased out as the empowered Karma Q from Superior does find him. Ward was taken down though, as they constantly are trying to deal with that defensive vision. As you said, all right, just going to be able to pick this up. Very important for Galio, again, to be able to continue with his wave clear so that he gets those openings. Because Twisted Fate wants to be the first one to move, right? If Twisted Fate can go first and get the ultimate off before Nocturne's ready, then he can be in position, land the stun, and look for the follow-up for the rest of the team. Currently, though, on that bottom side, as we said, Vicki, CS in a way, very happy with the early attack damage that he's got from that kill. And this is going to be a scary Kai'Sa later on.
Definitely a different story as well. Really has been Clyde and Kurosu with the edge in a lot of the 2v2s in our first two games. So nice to see Vicki and Superior kind of winning this lane. Both in CS, although not as much now as Clyde has picked some up. But again, in pressure and pushing, which again, Malaysia want to get aggressive with their champions, move into Philippines half of the map and continue to force action as Wakwak is going to take a recall here. Shiro already taken his, some early tier 2 boots, and a Kindle Gem building up towards the Proto Belt. But Tiamat Sheen, a very nice buy here for Camille.
Yeah, Camille definitely loving to get the early Sheen burst damage. Helps when he goes for the roam, something we've seen Wakwak do effectively with the champion. Roam around, use a long-range hook shot for that engage, and look for a quick pick-off before returning to lane. Tiamat, of course, is going to help you shove it. Right now, Shiro, you can see him, he try to freeze the lane in front of his turret, so he's denying as much CS to Wakwak as he can as he makes his way all the way back down lane to try and rejoin.
I think eyes on again, Kispil and RH here. Nocturne ready with a level 7 and the Warrior.
Yeah, bottom lane will be the area of focus. He's going to pick up the Krugs here, and this is a difficult bottom lane to gank. You know, Ezreal, Morgana, not the easiest because they have the Black Shield to immune some crowd control to start it off, and Ezreal is mobile. But Dodoy in the area as well, ready for a counter gank.
TF also pretty self-reliant on mana, so actually Dodoy's going to take that second blue buff. Try and build up a bit more farm and carry potential for himself.
I mean, they'd love to have him carry, center around him. We actually have a variation this time, too. He's taken quite a lot of Dark Harvest throughout the tournament, but this is going to be a fleet footwork this time around for Dodoy on the Graves. You can stay a bit more healthy. And also, the burst of move speed that you get is so good at helping Graves chase people down. If you get track of Nocturne. Here we go, though. Dragon started up solo by him. Not on vision. Bottom lane gank is the target.
Yeah, interesting situation. Croso actually almost about to get killed. Can he line up? Here's Nocturne going to fly in. That's a flash, but that's going to be a kill. Almost 2 onto the Ezreal instantly. But now Walkwalk down here gets the stun, but oh my goodness, Galio, he's found his way down. RH again is going to stop things out. Vicki is low. Dodoy finds the snipe with the ulti there.
So much damage here on the outside. Kanji looking for the chase, but the rest of his teammates are so low health they can't continue. And Dodoy was doing the dragon while the gank was in motion here from Malaysia.
Oh,
now
Flash Taunt finds him. That's going to be a kill. Walkwalk goes down. Malaysia might even stick around to pressure them off the Drake. And that will be them forced away. Malaysia with the aggressive brush camp works out.
Teleport number 2 does come in. Shiro is going to rejoin, and they're going to try and push down this turret for the first turret bonus gold. And Malaysia with a very big gold advantage early on to this one.
All right, don't worry about the Drake. They want the turret gold. Clyde's got it twice. Not this time, though, as Malaysia do knock down the bottom outer turret.
Galio comes in big there. Malaysia wait in the brush just long enough. They pull off the surprise counter to then capitalize with the turret afterwards. That was a huge, huge change of events.
Well, somehow only a 1-for-1 in the initial play. I'll watch it here again.
So this is how it all started out. And again, Vicki with the huge start that he got, with the extra kill and a lot of flat damage that he's able to force out the stopwatch early on. Caspiel does ultimate onto the Ezreal and then flash over to finish off the kill. Then he's a little bit of a bait there as the double teleport comes in to punish Walkwalk. He still got out of it though, and Graves damage from the side finished up the kill here onto Vicki, onto the Kaisa, which was not the end of the story as we know afterwards, but right now Dodoy actually in the river and running up towards topside, being chased by 4 members of Malaysia.
Such a cheeky angle there for Dodoy, but maybe it's him that's now being collapsed on. He's going to stay safe there in the brush, but his superior rejoining back with Vicki, who's got the Stormrazor. Healthy amount of early damage here, and Camille cannot 1v2 this.
Yeah, it's very difficult because they've got the lane swap off. Vicki and Superior after taking turret bottom side. They make the easy rotation up to top side. They can try and force down and chain together some more of these turret kills. Slick little interruption here as RH is able to get the stop onto Kanji so he doesn't get to go purchase in. Looks like he wanted to complete a Rod of Ages. The more you can delay that stacking, the better. Delay some combat power.
Well, they do spot them though. Superior with a nice bit of poke. Actually, another follow-up here comes to Nocturne. Perhaps it's mid lane though they're trying to get on. Kanji is going to have to cleanse out of that and does do so. Ezreal there, but he gets burnt down. Clyde tries to find the counter kill, but he can't do it.
Yeah, Red Smite used from Caspiel, and he's able to back off with just a little bit of health, still getting the kill. And this is Malaysia trying to push the tempo of the game right now. Ultimate used in mid lane, and this is going to be very difficult for the Philippines to stabilize.
All I can think is it's happening again, Kobe. Again, Caspiel off to a good start. He's had that good role. And with the team helping out with RH on a champion like a Galio also looking good. And even Vicki kind of pushing the tides of bot lane and winning that, at least in the early stages. Malaysia very well situated to try and snowball here. 2,000 gold up, but if there's one thing I have seen already from the Philippines, they will not stop fighting until the Nexus crumbles.
Definitely true of this series so far. Now they're fighting their way into the river. And it is a bit of a early vision setup here for the Philippines. They've tried to rush this dragon 2 times before and been chased off. This time, though, they know that Vicki is committed to the top line play. So they're going to be able to pick it up. Ocean Drake will provide some regeneration for after a lot of these skirmishes take place.
Yeah, looks like just a turret trade here for the Drake. Malaysia pretty happy with that exchange, you have to think. Superior even rotated up just to make sure it goes down, and they do claim the turret. So 2 turrets to nothing. It looks like a push here, 4-man strong in the mid lane. Philippines going to try and get some damage done here. Caspiel no ulti, and no combo that are valuable with the Galio and Ezreal. Very good at helping multi-man pushes. The Philippines should be able to pick this up. Caspiel here, but it's going to be too late. Really slick rotation here for the Philippines. They take down the turret.
Nice use there to be able to get some global gold back for themselves. Finish this one up. And actually, Scuttle Crab has spawned. We might get a little fight over this one as well. Caspiel doesn't want to let it go away.
Ulti's almost back up for Caspiel as well. So going to have to tread pretty carefully here for the Philippines. Dodoy maybe a bit too brazen in the river trying to take down the crab, but he does get it safely. Team not in position to follow up just yet.
And we actually see a movement up the river from Walkwalk as well, looking for the collapse. Remember, the mid turret is down, so they have to be very careful about that mid lane positioning. So much here built on the flanks and possible pickoffs from the Philippines. Again, Morgana Binding, Twisted Fate, Gold Card, and Camille Hookshot all possible tools here for the Philippines to get that pick on the side. Whereas Malaysia are really trying to utilize the synergy between their champions. You can already see Vicki has upgraded enough attack speed for the invisibility on his E now with the supercharge, with those extra couple daggers and the Berserker Greaves, so he can be a little bit more safe when they do start to collapse. Here's another look at the Nocturne ultimate right into Twisted Fate as the card was thrown. Good timing there, so they won't have to worry about getting stunned up later. And again, Red Smite Burn is going to help out a lot. You know, you can walk away with a very little extra damage left to finish it off.
Yep, nice calculation there by Caspiel, knowing they had enough to pick him up. And again, Nocturne 3-0, Warrior done. Looks like Duskblade is up next. And level 11 should be pretty close for the Nocturne also, as Galio has already crested that threshold. So I am kind of surprised he hasn't been as aggressive and a bit more calculating with his Nocturne ults, but if they get conversions, that's exactly what Malaysia want to do here. Try and knock down another turret, continue to play around the map and use their sideline pressure here with Vicki, with RH. They're going to push these lanes and continue to snowball the advantage they have built.
Yeah, Malaysia definitely will have a big advantage if it gets to a 5v5 team fight here. They have an easy option of collapsing as well, so you can just have the Kaisa with the E upgraded supercharge, invisibility, and Karma shields to rely on in mid lane, and then have Galio and Nocturne splitting off to the sides with their semi-global ultimates, able to join at any sign of aggression from the Philippines. Right now, it is a start on the Rift Herald. Philippines are aware of this position, though, and teleport's ready for Walk Walk.
Ooh, Dodoi went right in there. Over the back of the wall using the Blast Cone. Looks like actually going to be forced away here. Clyde does have his Trinity Force finished, but here comes Nocturne. Might have been after Galio, going to try and find Korosu as the target. He's a pretty squishy one. Caspiel needs to keep chasing in, but Korosu is out for now. Flash is ready. Korosu does not have his, but they're trying to chase him. Maybe not burn the summoner if they can help it. Twisted Fate ult's going to again try and look for it, and now the Philippines have actually found the flank on the other side. RH is going to try and take down Korosu, and he will do so. Caspiel though fighting Kanji, who's actually cut off in the flank. Malaysia, they found 2 kills despite the cut-off attempt by the Philippines.
Oh, that's going to be huge for Malaysia as they're able to take complete control over the top side of the map. Down bottom though, Walk Walk trying to get turret damage in exchange, only to be answered by a teleport.
Yeah, it's Galio able to quickly clean that out, and still the Rift Herald remains in their eyes. Malaysia should be able to take this down, and Philippines are starting to try stuff and are starting to come up short. It is frustrating when that happens in League of Legends.
Again, Malaysia here have so much synergy between their champions. Able to pull off a nice kill there. You know, RH on the Galio also was able to get close enough to Korosu to finish off the kill on Morgana, and they still survive with the protection, you know, of the Karma shields coming through.
Dodoi does take that crab, going to take down the control ward here in left side mid as well. Like I said, Clyde had his item finished, but couldn't really find a good angle to team fight. Caspiel just charging in here.
Yeah, so they're trying to use the Galio Nocturne combination. Everybody from the side of the Philippines does get out of the initial move from Malaysia, but then they continue the chase onto the top side. And the Philippines think that they can corner these 2 members. However, once again, teleport comes in from Vladimir, and they're able to just rally around the extra shield there. Finish off the kill. Nobody gets out. That's a couple of extra kills that go over. Continue to snowball. Again, though, side lane is a possibility for the Philippines. Trinity Force now completed on Camille.
Yushiro, though, proto belts the wave. Pads of blood charged up just to make sure he clears it out, and this turret stays safe. Malaysia still with a 2 turrets to 1 advantage, although Philippines have the best one to get there in mid-outer. Vicki also building what looks like a Rage Blade as his second item, so still making sure to get that very powerful item into the hands of Kaisa.
All right, he might be a face checking though.
Supercharger gets him out pretty cleanly. In fact, maybe a counter engage is on the cards.
Yeah, right now Nocturne up in the top river. So if Caspiel is able to clear out that ward and then join right back down with the rest of the team, Malaysia actually might mount that counter attack. Currently as well, Galio is super far away. Even with the long range of his level 2 ultimate, would have to roam down, so a little bit of extra time of evasion will be needed.
Yeah, applying pressure instead. Vicki is holding mid here and just pressuring there. Galio's going to run into the turret, and he's roaming down.
Yep, everybody collapsing around mid, and the Dragon is about to spawn too.
Superior going to be the target, flashes out of the way to try and get maximum distance covered. looking to try and get a Havoc. Spiel on a rampage, gets a kill. Galio ulti's there, but it's only defensive. Vicki dancing around, but a double man taunt. So good there from RH. Kenzie, he's going to get chased down by Vicki with a W. Does miss for a while, still supercharged a flash. There's a double kill for the Kaiser.
Only one person left standing for the Philippines as Wakwak tries to complete his recall. He will get out, but Baron is on the table. 21 minutes and 40 seconds into the game. Malaysia are trying to take it down.
4-kill knockdown and a Kaiser do this so quickly. And Dodoy is still dead for 10 more seconds. I don't think anyone can make it in time to be a difference here. We'll have to see. Wakwak is kind of roaming down there, but he's got no ult, no flash, and not a whole lot of friends either. So he may check the area, but looks like Baron over to Malaysia.
This is going to be very big for Malaysia to be able to push with here. They have an easy spread, as we talked about. They can have Galio push up a side lane while the rest of the team is very safe, and they wait on the Galio ultimate to join. Good flash there from Superior. He baits the rest of Philippines to dive even deeper. Then the Nocturne ultimate comes in with Galio also arriving, and RH is able to get the taunt into flash on both carry members, making it easy for Vicki there to unload the damage. Flashes in to get the extra kill onto Twisted Fate, and Malaysia, now with the Baron buff, will try and push in on the extra turrets and take over this game.
Yeah, don't even have this one, and this is the easy one to take right now for Malaysia. Mid out of Feld with the help of the Baron up minions, and you can see the Gold Lead and the Rift Herald actually making an appearance. Didn't see where you came from.
Well, this Rift Herald might get all the way into the inhibitor turret as they make the push here. Will they defend, or actually eyeball shot goes off? Philippines take this one down. They're trying to buy some time clearing out these minions. Currently, the bottom lane as well is getting stacked up.
Looks like Malaysia actually committing just to knocking down an inhibitor more than anything else, although maybe rethinking that. Still have a few minutes of the Baron left to play with, so not too bad. But didn't quite get the other turret they wanted. Still only 3 turrets up to 1, which is nice, but you do want to get quite a bit more off the Baron buff, especially the gold that they have. Malaysia sitting up about 6,000 gold.
Yeah, I think waiting on a couple cooldowns here. Galio ultimate not ready for Malaysia, but they really should pressure and keep it up with this Baron buff. They have so much of an advantage. Rageblade's already completed on Kaisa, so Vicki feeling quite nice about his teamfight power. As soon as they finish up their purchases and Galio ultimate is ready, I expect Malaysia to push again harder into the turret. But right now, Philippines, they're mounting a comeback on bottom side. They sent 3 people to take down this turret, and they're going to have to reset and get into defensive position if they want to answer the rest of the Baron push here from Malaysia.
Feels like maybe too many people went to the bot side here, although Malaysia actually taking jungle.
Top side, actually, the turret should go down to Vicki.
Yep, was pushing that one in. Very efficient with solo time left on the structures. Route there onto RH. Looks like the siege is continuing. Shiro bot side getting the wave reversed. Does have TP if they want to try and join for a dive. Philippines going to have to tread pretty lightly here between their turrets. Do not want to get caught in transition. Caspiel is more than willing to insta-ult you if you're out of position.
Yeah, especially with this secondary turret so low health already. Malaysia could go for a tower dive, but right now they have plenty of time. Shiro on the Vladimirs moving up the bottom lane wave, and the Philippines are just looking for that flank on the side here. Try and keep Malaysia honest. Right now, push should complete on this turret. Nobody moving up because they're scared of the all-in.
Yeah, not minion actually helping. It might be enough, just needs maybe one more shot. Vicki gets aggressive, supercharges in, and speeds down to take through the turret. Also, Shiro still prepping here on the bot side. Maybe able to take it just 1v1 with Wakwak trying to defend. Yeah. Philippines not willing to make a move right now, it feels like.
A lot of gold going over as Malaysia clean up all these turrets with the Baron buff. Trying to complete the push on the bottom side, and that one should be the last.
Well, there it is. Turret goes down. That's 6 turrets to 2 now in favor of Malaysia. There's the insult from Caspiel. Again, looks for Kurosu. Vicki, he's actually going to be the Galio ult target. They're going to pick off Kurosu as Vicki is on a killing spree. At the last second, they bust through to try and get down the inhibitor turret. RH getting aggressive, going to threaten the taunt. Caspiel with a nice watch is maybe going to save him, but Wakwak here. Actually, a taunt is going to prevent the Camille from ulting in and getting aggressive. And Shiro, he's just dove in like a madman in onto Dodoy. Going to try and get the kill down as the turret will fall. Shiro, nice bait there as he does escape under the turret. But here comes Kanji. Where's he going?
Up to try and catch Vladimir. He does get the stun, but Shiro healing his way out of it. One more to come through.
Stun, no pull is good. Wakwak actually doesn't find it either. He's got the flash, but I think Shiro creeps and rushes proc. He might have run out of here. Flash card, that's enough. Kanji finally puts the nail in that coffin.
They're able to get one kill back for themselves, but so much damage done to the base. Malaysia with a huge Baron power play there. Takes so many turrets they'll be able to purchase afterwards with this and return with so much more power in inventory.
And Vicki kind of splitting a lot of this early build, more of a hybrid situation, but we've seen how willing he is to go aggressive. That zone will help as we'll watch this one again.
All right, so we have people trading zoning here. Caspiel was tanking under the turret, then he flashes out after his stopwatch, and some damage goes back through from Philippines, but then Shiro dives in, forces Graves back. They open up a small window where they're able to finish off the turret. Another stopwatch was used, that one by Vicki, and then on the top side, Kanji chases him down afterwards to be able to pick up the straggler kill here. Wakwak trying to help him out.
Kanji has enough, does have to burn the flash, I suppose. So commits to Summoner to pick up the kill. Gets a bit of gold for himself. Also important to note, despite the turret advantage and the gold lead that's built up from Malaysia, they only expose the mid inhibitor. It is still up and defendable for the Philippines.
Malaysia also with a very strong team composition for ending this one out. They've got the fully ready Kaisa with the Zonias.
Oh, Kurosu out of position again. It's just such a tragedy. Caspiel finds the kill, make it 5.
Yep, instant Nocturne ultimate there. They still have Galio ultimate coming up in about 30 seconds as well. So they don't have to be done with the push. They can go for the inhibitor and then try and all in again.
Honestly, hard to blame Kurosu as well. He's just trying to get vision, man. But it's not safe for the Nocturne on the map. They will take the mid inhib as a result. Once again, the duo of Caspiel and RH continuing to push Malaysia forward in this game with some strong performances across the rift from the rest of the team as well. Philippines backs very firmly in the wall in the last game of their semi-final, down almost 10,000 gold with Drakes and Barons respawning soon.
And what a run it has been for this Philippines team. You know, Mineski qualifying, but then stepping in. They were able to pick up so much work. Dodoy was just a substitute player that they picked up on this Graves and has had a breakout tournament. Huge damage numbers across the board. Very big performances all around. And of course, we've seen how happy they are as far as the experiences they got so far. Right now, they're going to get back out and collect another dragon for themselves. That has definitely been something they've been able to control throughout this game. Another Ocean Drake isn't exactly the dragon type that you want in the late game, but they're still going to try and rally inside their base, even with the inhibitor down.
Another impressive 3 of a kind, though. This series has been pretty consistent with the Drake spawn. As Vicki actually TPing back pretty early with the Baron up and alive. Malaysia looking left for their next objective.
Twisted Fate ultimate used to reveal around the Baron to make sure that Malaysia wasn't already on it here. Philippines have to be very scared of that. Them trying to rush. Wakwak split pushing down bottom with the Camille is going to force it.
Yeah, not for much longer, I don't think. Malaysia in onto the Baron. No vision to really get here, although I think the plant may have spotted it. Now they know with the ward in the back that that'll get turned off pretty quickly. Ult again, they're going to look to try and make the play. Vicki straight to the backline, in onto the carry. Wants to try and take him down. He fights all the way around and goes on a rampage to get 2. That's 3. Maybe going to make it another one here. Is Kurosu going to get picked up? I can see it. I can smell the penta. Vicki keeps chasing. He wants the joy. He wants the quadra. He's going to get it. Where's Wakwak?
He's not going to get
the
it.
butt line.
He would have to go across map to be able to get that one. And Wakwak.
Recall. It's worth it. Go back to base. Instead, Malaysia shove down the mid lane. Wakwak is trying desperately. He actually gets the inhibitor pretty impressively.
In the end, though, the entire rest of his team has died. If they stop that teleport, he won't be able to defend, and the Nexus is alone and undefended with Malaysia looking to finish it.
How did he cancel it? He's got no CC, but it's not going to matter. Malaysia find the big snowball and roll all the way down the hill. That will be our first Hyperplay Grand Finalists.
2-1 victory here. Huge game number 3 coming out. Galio Nocturne combination on full display and definitely rewarded for the proactive playmaking.
Strong stuff there. Felt like, you know, in one game, Caspiel rolled a 1, and then a 6, and then a 20. That game was a crit if I've ever seen one. Such a strong Nocturne game. The teams will shake hands.
So much about these teams realizing through this series how much they need to play around their junglers and help out with the invades and defending those invades as well. really nice to see the team support as they were able to help each other succeed.
Have to agree, has been a team-wide tournament so far for both these squads. Malaysia will take a bow in front of the Singapore Indoor Stadium. You can see Vicki starting to get excited, knows he's got a seat in the finals, ready to play for that championship.
Yeah, he is probably the most experienced player for them, you know, multiple positions. Played on Hong Kong Attitude last year, and he's returned home to find some success for them. We'll see what they can do tomorrow, as we don't know who they're going up against, but we do know they're going to be playing for the finals.
Certainly are. We'll have, of course, our other semifinal later on in the day. Not quite done here yet, though, Kobe. I think for the Philippines, good to recognize that, you know, did have such a strong showing for a team that, like you said, was playing with a sub-jungler that became the monster jungler of the tournament.
Yeah, such a good story for them and how far they've been able to make it in this tournament. Great success, you know, from multiple sides. In the end, though, it is going to be Malaysia moving on, and congratulations once again to them.
But looking forward to our next matches as well. Given the pace we have already been shown from these first 3 games, I'm hoping for 6 more over the weekend, Kobe.
That's right. Coming up next after the concert is going to be Singapore versus Vietnam, where we will find their opponent. Will it be the hometown crowd, or will it be Vietnam? You know, tournament favorites. A lot of people have been talking about their 8-0 run through the group stage and how dominating they have looked.
Also, to let you know, before we throw ourselves over, we actually have an interview with Vicki coming up, so we'll get his thoughts on the series. I think it was interesting to see how tough his lanes felt like in those first 2 games, but when, you know, he's required to carry, to say, here you go, here's a Kaiser. And he took over that game for sure, with help from some friends.
Yeah, definitely a lot of team play there. Gallia Ultimates coming in huge, as they're able to pick people off as well.
I think a lot to think about as well. I mean, Shira's Vlad certainly looking good all series long. RH's supportive champions, maybe not something we would have expected after game 1 on Zoe, but certainly looking very good there as well. But you have to feel like the teams are just going to continue to move things forward and will only get stronger as the tournament continues. Philippines may have been one of the weaker teams, and already they look so close to taking this final game.
Yeah, I mean, Malaysia definitely looked like they had some good adaptations thus far. So we'll get our thoughts from Vicki, as he's definitely excited. You can see it on his face. He was the one jumping up and down, you know, bouncing before the game as well in his chair.
Yeah, one of the more animated players. I mean, there's a lot of players actually feeling pretty animated between all these teams. So it's just great to see how much fun they're having. Like, if you see the introductions, they're just, you know, making faces and having fun. It's been great to see so far, but more Hyperplay is coming up. With that win, Malaysia are the first team to qualify for tomorrow's Hyperplay Championship. For more, let's head on stage where Hanli and Clement Chu are standing by with one of our finalists.
And that's right, guys. First of all, Vicki, congratulations on your team winning. How are you feeling being right here on the Hyperplay stage in Singapore?
Personally, I really love this event because it's just such a big eye-opener for me, because like the stage is good, everything is good, Riot treat every player really well, and being able to play against like all these teams around that I've never seen before, it just made me feel really good. Like, really happy to be in here, like super happy.
That's right, and I can feel the energy coming off you. And hey, congratulations, Malaysia Boleh, right?
Malaysia Boleh!
Hey, Vicki, before the game, you told the Philippine teams that my teammates are very smart. You better be careful. What do you think is a smart decision that made you win this series?
I think our jungler is playing really well today, like including his Kindred games and his Nocturne engage today. It's like, I think our jungler wrote a lot of 6 today. He just go all into on them today, yeah.
So he was a dice, but he did come up really, really big today. My second question was, you really popped off on the Kai'Sa in the very last game. It seemed to be all about the Jhin in game 1 and game 2. Why turn toward the Kai'Sa in the final game to close it out?
I really like to play Kai'Sa when I can frontline, you know. I initiate, and then with Nocturne and Galio, it's just, they are so scared. They can't see me, and they're like hitting their backline. And it just feels fantastic to play Kai'Sa when you just dive into their backline. You don't feel like ADC, you feel like assassin.
You certainly did very well on the pick.
Okay, so that was the first match of this weekend. Later on, we have Singapore and Vietnam. Do you have any predictions? Who's going to win? Do you have a favorite team?
I think it's quite 50-50 for them, and both of them are really good. And whoever can play better, and whoever top lane play better, most importantly. So I guess it's just a 50-50.
It can go either way. It can go either way. Well, once again, congratulations on your win. And yeah, guys, at the analyst desk, we will be sending it back to you for now. Thanks.
Thank you, Han Lee. And joining me on the analyst desk is Skara, coming all the way from North America. Skara, how has Hyperplay been for you so far?
It's been hot. It's been very, very hot. I mean, the event itself is great. You know, I've met a lot of great fans. I watched some really bloody games. You know, stuff that looks kind of like my solo queue. Games are explosive. You see back and forth play, and so it's been a lot of fun so far.
It just seems to be the #1 answer I get from anyone that's visiting Singapore, that it's just very hot. And trust me, all the locals say the exact same thing. You don't ever get used to it. It is very hot in this country. But you're right, we did see a lot of bloody games in that series, especially in Game 1, where it was very back and forth between Philippines as well as Malaysia. And getting into Game 3, it was off the back of Kaispor, who was able to carry Malaysia over the finish line to get into that final match and eventually take the victory.
Yeah, what a fantastic showing from Caspio, him and Ozoro Vicki. We said these are the players to watch, and boy, did they step up huge, right? The Kindred pick, 10-2, I think he finished the game. At one point, like 10-0, right? Clean record, absolutely carried huge. And you heard Vicki right there. He has no qualms diving into the backline of the Kaisa and just absolutely ripping through the backline, so he did great.
Wait, I'm most impressed with their Malaysia's mid laner, because honestly, his name is Ayaj, right?
Ayaj, that's
Ayaj.
right.
Yeah, he played really, really well. The first game, I could tell he knew how to play the matchup really well, and I think he's just a slightly better laner than his opponent, but he focused too much on lane the first game, and he realized, you know what, I can develop leads better with my team. He worked really well with his jungler to create openings games 2 and games 3.
Yeah, we saw them work very well together. The junglers was a mid laner from Malaysia, but we also saw Vicki so happy. He said that his jungler was rolling a lot of 6s on the dice roll. Was able to perform well in those matchups, but Vicki himself with a quadra kill in this match.
Yeah, I mean, you just take a look at his position. He doesn't hesitate whatsoever flashing over, and you can tell the rest of the team, you know, Scar, you mentioned RH, just being willing to back him up, just toss the Galio ulti, and he can just absolutely run at the enemy team, no fear whatsoever.
All right, to be a good AD carry in the current meta, you have to be extremely good at frontlining, which is really weird to say, but you have to be aggressive. You ride the edge. So if you're playing Jhin, you're playing Kaisa, you have to be able to frontline. This guy plays like he's a tank. I like it. I like what I'm seeing.
And you were telling me earlier that the bottom lane setup for Malaysia was great going into the third game, and that's really where everything started. They were able to get a good push in the bottom lane, and that's where Vicki started his snowball in match number 3.
Yeah, Kaisa got a free BF sword off the early kill in the invade, and then they were able to even force the Morgana sums at level 6. With the Nocturnal coming in, it just snowballed really easily from the bot lane position.
Yeah, I have to say that the Karma pick was very interesting as well, because people are like, well, where's this pick coming from? How does it fit into the meta? But then that's why in Malaysia, I think their experience as a team to just say, okay, we're going to funnel, or not exactly funnel, but focus very heavily on what we're good at. And Vicki really had so much support, not just the Galio, but the Karma as well as kind of the unsung hero, giving him so much shield, so much speed. Just Philippines couldn't handle that Kaisa at all.
And it was great to see that KLH for the Malaysian representatives, they were able to use both Zorovecki as well as Caspiel to pull themselves to that Game 3 win. Those are the two players we were really hyping up. You talked about RH as well, playing very well during this entire series. The team played phenomenally, and now they're going into the grand finals. What can we expect from KLH in their grand final match against either Vietnam or Singapore?
Hopefully last 6s again from their jungler. That's all I gotta say. I'm hoping for really good game. I think that they're a team that kind of developed better on stage. I think every team improves on stage as well. And so, like I said before, their mid lane kind of transitioned his focus as the series went on. They found a way to win, and I think the jungle mid was the deciding factor in this game. For stuff that you can maybe look at for later, like maybe the top lane might be a problem for the finals, because I don't know exactly if either top lane put up a huge monster performance. And from what I've heard, the top laners that are in the tournament are still very, very good.
Yeah, it's a great point. I 100% agree with Scar right here. Shiro was a big question mark in Game 1 and even Game 2. In Game 3, it looks like he was a little bit more settled, but in that sense, he's still relying on the carry performances from the likes of Ozoro Vicki and Caspio and RH. Whereas if, let's say, they do face Vietnam, it's still if, right? It's not decided. We're looking at a team that has strengths all over the map.
And you can hear the crowd earlier. They were excited for Malaysia to actually pick up the victory and go into grand finals. And like the rivalry between Malaysia and Singapore, we're always friends until it's that final match. But Singapore have to cause an upset against Vietnam, who are tournament favorites. 8-0 at the moment, led by Optimus, who is a well-known player in Vietnam, has played on many different teams, now coaching the squad to success. What are you guys' thoughts on that matchup that we have later on today?
Singapore, I'm a Singaporean, right? So hometown heroes, let's go. But you have to say, it's such a tall task for them because they are going up against Optimus's team, coaching them. And of course, That being said, I really look forward to some star performances from our mid laner as well. Arkellic, right? Singapore's shining star. If he can put up performances, like you thought the Galio from Malaysia was good, it was good. Just wait till you see Arkellic's Galio if they give it to him.
I've been hearing a lot about this Vietnam team. I heard they're 8-0. I hear they're backed by Optimus, a person I've seen on the world stage before. I'm a little bit scared. I hear Vietnam is doing very, very well. I just want to see a good game, and I'm like, you know what? I'm here to see like kind of a bloody game too. Because I want to see a lot of kills.
They are tournament favorites coming into this one, but I know a lot of people are hoping that Singapore can cause an upset later, because later today we will find out which team joins Malaysia in the finals, as Singapore and Vietnam will face off in a best-of-3 set. But before that, the Sandwillows will take to the stage in today's first MTV Spotlight. That all starts at 4 o'clock sharp, so don't be late.
With maximum Wi-Fi coverage, you won't have to miss a thing.
Cause I'll miss it, baby.